You can teach the come command on a 15-foot lead or retractable leash. Attach the leash to your dog's collar and put him in a sit position. Walk to the end of your leash, turn and face your dog, give the come command. Give the leash a snap and jog backwards a few steps. Your dog should start to return to you. For added reliability and safety, the come command should end in a sit. Don't give the sit command when your dog arrives. Simply put your dog in a sit with lots of praise and petting. Give your release command when finished. If your dog should get distracted, repeat the command come, give the leash a snap, and jog backwards a few steps. Do not approach your dog. Your dog should come the entire distance to you. Put your dog in a sit position and praise enthusiastically upon reaching you. Release your dog from the sit and spend a few moments playing with a favorite toy. Repeat this step 10 to 20 times, 2 times per day. You'll be ready to use your remote training collar when your dog anticipates the leash pop and you running backwards by racing to you on the come command. With the training collar turned on and the retractable leash attached, repeat the training steps in step 1 of the come command. Instead of snapping the leash and running backwards, press and hold the stimulation button until your dog covers the 15 feet. Immediately release the button when your dog gets to you and sits. Don't forget to release your dog from the sitting position when the exercise is finished with lots of praises and petting. The final step of the come command is the off leash. In a confined and controlled environment, such as a fenced backyard, take the leash off your dog and repeat the training steps from step 2. If your dog should get distracted from the mission of getting to you and sitting, immediately press and hold the stimulation button. Release the button only on the successful conclusion of the come exercise. Similar to the other commands, gradually increase the distance your dog needs to cover on the come command and distractions they will encounter on the way. Your dog should ignore every temptation, such as children, rolling balls, and other animals. At first appearance, this might look like more distraction than any dog could ignore and maybe even unfair to ask. However, it is this exercise that keeps your dog out of harm's way. Unfortunately, all too often, there is a busy road between your dog and an irresistible distraction. The time spent perfecting this command is literally a lifesaver. Please take a moment and review what you've learned. Putting an end to common problem behaviors requires a different use of your remote training system as compared to the training process covered in Part 1, where there are teaching or demonstration steps. To solve most problems, it is only necessary for your dog to associate the zing of the training collar with a particular problem behavior. Your dog's actions cause the collar to activate, and ceasing that behavior turns the collar off. Keen observation on your part is required to get the timing right. Before you start to solve a digging problem, consider why your dog is digging. Some modification of your dog's living environment may be required to fully solve this problem. Dogs dig for 3 primary reasons: a cooler or warmer place to lie. Make sure that your dog has plenty of shade and shelter. In the heat of the summer, a small wading pool may be just what the doctor ordered. They smell or hear something interesting. Particularly prevalent in terrier breeds that were bred to dig. Give these dogs an area to dig in that's acceptable and out of the way. Terriers appreciate sandboxes just as much as the kids do. Entertainment. Your dog is bored or lonely. Increase your play and exercise time with your dog. The training exercises outlined in this video will fit the bill. For more mental stimulation, take your dog out on more errands. The new sights and smells will give your dog more mental exercise. Even with these changes, some dogs need some firmer persuasion to find a new way to entertain themselves. To do this, select a stimulation level 1 or 2 levels higher than your standard training level. Then let your dog out in the yard and observe closely, preferably out of sight. Make sure there are no people or other animals in the yard with which your dog could associate the collar's correction. When your dog starts to dig, press and hold the stimulation button until the digging stops. Watch carefully for some time. The dog will usually associate that hole with being the culprit and will challenge several other areas before deciding it's the digging that causes the correction. The training lessons covered in Part 1 should have solved most of your jumping problems, as you would choose to have your dog sit and then be petted by visitors. Should your dog not be able to contain enthusiasm, you may have to address this problem directly. Use your dog's normal training level. If you find this is insufficient due to the level of distraction, select the next highest level until you reach the level that gets your dog's attention. When your dog jumps up, press and hold the transmitter button until all 4 paws are on the floor. Tell your dog to sit and enforce as demonstrated in Part 1 of this video. Repeat as often as necessary for your dog to sit when visitors arrive. Again, it's necessary for you to use a number of different people in different situations for your dog to associate that the zing from the collar will happen no matter where they are or whom they're jumping on. You're probably getting the idea of how to effectively use your Innotek remote training product to introduce negative consequence for your dog's misdeeds. The same method is used to discourage other behaviors, such as rummaging through the garbage, and even the most determined counter surfer. Let's review how to approach common problems around the house. Temptations that your dog can't resist will usually require a higher level of stimulus than the training level that you established. Although you're pushing the stimulation button, no other corrective action on your part is required. Your dog will soon learn that it is his behavior that causes the collar to turn on and off. You will need to catch your dog in the act a number of consecutive times to be successful. Otherwise, in your dog's mind, sometimes the correction happens and sometimes it doesn't, and they will continue to challenge the theory. After correcting for one unacceptable behavior, it's helpful to redirect your dog to an activity that will earn a reward, such as get your ball. Play with your dog to redirect his energy to good behavior. You are now quickly on your way to a better behaved dog. The patience and time invested by you and help from your Innotek remote training system will reward you with years of fun and trouble-free companionship. The dog professionals at Innotek thank you for choosing your Innotek remote training system and are available to answer any questions that you may have regarding your dog's behavior. Call our training professionals at Innotek's free professional training support hotline at 1-800-364-3362. We look forward to hearing from you.